In China, smoking has reached levels many would consider alarming. For more on World No Tobacco Day, Teh-Wei Hu from UC Berkeley School of Public Health joins us live in Beijing. Teh-Wei, 1 in 4 people smoke in China. First of all, can you tell us why it is so popular?
I think that one reason is because of a social norm, that people probably think that it's a way of a friendship, a meeting of exchanges, but also there is a lack of knowledge. Some of the, especially in low-income, rural China, young people, they do not realize that the harmfulness of smoking to their health.
I see. There is talk now of a national smoke-free law. How effective would that be in China?
Well, I think, as you mentioned earlier, the Chinese government has started to address this issue. However, I think there are two main important points. Is one, that we should make the cigarette more expensive to the smokers. And that will make the young people feel more sensitive to the price, which will not initiate the smoking. That will help the long-term reduction of smoking prevalence rate. Secondly, I think that even the higher price, it will help the people to quit. Right now, the price of cigarette in China is very low, especially given the increase of income in the last 10 years. So really, the need to raise the price of cigarette in China.
China depends on the revenue, obviously, from the tobacco farms. Can it justify pushing a campaign to prevent smoking? Can it afford it?
Well, actually, this is the myth. As we know that one reason that China is so powerful in the tobacco industry is because it's a government monopoly. It is the revenue source, but also the regulatory agency. What happened is that many of the officials worried about the tobacco industry employment, worried about tobacco farming, as our research shows, actually that given the increase of taxation, the negative effect on the employment is very minimal. And in fact, the farmers, they could be better off, such as in Yunnan and other places. If they produce fruit, herbal medicine, they will make more money than tobacco leaf.
Tell me about the program that you have been advocating for farmers to grow other crops besides tobacco.
Well, as we realize that one of the problem of the Chinese taxation, the government uses the tobacco leaf as the revenue to local government. So that gives the incentive to the local government to encourage farmers to produce tobacco leaf. And what we want to do is to provide knowledge and also incentives to have the farmers aware of the opportunities to produce other crops. And this is kind of the option that we want to make sure they're available to the farmers, not only in China, but also in Indonesia and Africa. That's the program we're doing.
Sir, how far do you think China is away? Are they a generation away from implementing this and from promoting health?
Well, I think China has already been promoting health in one sense, such as you mentioned earlier, about the leadership not to smoke in the public. And they're looking into the possible non-smoke public places. But I think that down the road, the raising tax, which will have a more immediate and cost-effective policy on tobacco control, I will see that this probably, given the major economic reform and the tax policy reform, I'm hopeful that the kind of tax increase will happen maybe within a year or two. And this will have a good impact on the reducing cigarette smoking.
Professor Teh-Wei Hu from UC at Berkeley, thank you so much for your time live from Beijing.